All right, welcome to the Bubble Hockey Buying Guide. This will cover three different manufacturers. They're your normal Super Checks, Carom, and Sheltie. Yeah, that's the first slide. First three major companies. I've already went over that. The best overall table is going to be your Super Checks Pro. That's made by a company called Ice. They make a ton of like redemption things and stuff like that, but this is one of the things they've been making for about 40 years. They just came out with a brand new model. They used to make a Checks, and then they made Super Checks, and now they're making Super Checks Pro. And the Pro adds an LCD screen and some better quality audio. Those are the two biggest upgrades over the old ones. They also redesigned the home controls. So if you use it in your home, those are kind of nice. The price went up $200 when they did that, which isn't too bad considering the LCD screen is a lot better than the old digital stuff they were using before. The rest of the parts are almost all identical, so if you have an older one, like you're not really missing out on anything as far as like actually playing the game. It's just the little bit of graphics and sound quality that you're probably missing out. The one difference between this one and the other two models, it has coin slots. So if you actually wanted to, you could go put this out on a location and earn money on stuff like that. The other two, nobody else makes one that can take coins. I think the majority of homeowners usually get the home models because it has volume control and other things that are like accessible for everybody, so you can turn it up, which is kind of nice. Like the old Checks that I have, which is used, there isn't even an on-off switch. You have to plug it in, which is kind of annoying. So, all right, this is the best overall table. Let's go next to best bang for buck. The Carom is probably your best bang for a buck table. Sometimes they can be had for under $1,000 when they're on sale. Their lowest model can get down there. Most of the time, I think most people probably buy the model that's around 1100 ish. Kind of depends, fluctuates back and forth a little bit depending on the season. It has a small battery operated scoreboard, and but it's not nearly as sophisticated as like the Checks. It doesn't have an LCD screen. It doesn't have like shot sensors and things like that. But it does play pretty nice. It should, for it's like a third of the price almost as the Checks, so you can't expect it to be like completely on par with that for the price. It also has parts that you can get either from Amazon or from Carom. And oops, I should go back. Sheltie, they're kind of in the middle between the two. They make good tables. They also have like a less complicated scoreboard than the Checks. I thought I heard at one point that like some of the stuff from the Sheltie was made from former Ice employees. I don't know if that's actually true or not, but they're pretty similar. The Sheltie is more similar to the Checks than the Carom is. The other option you have is you don't actually have to go with a brand new one. You can find used. You're not really going to find too many of the Shelties or Caroms used. They're very rare to come up on Craigslist. I've hardly ever seen one, but you do see lots of the old original Checkses and Super Checkses on Craigslist or the Facebook marketplace every once in a while. It kind of depends on your area of the country. If you're down south, you're never going to see one. If you're up north, you're going to see quite a few of them online. They're kind of like something that's more popular in Canada and the northern states than anywhere south. If you can get a used Checks for like around $1,000, that's in pretty good shape, then that's probably a pretty good deal. If the bubble's all scratched up and there's a lot of things broke, then it may not be a very good deal at $1,000, because those bubbles themselves are like $400, and the ice is like over $100. And if you ever put NHL players on it, those are like $99 a team. So you could pretty quickly get like an additional $500 to $700 just changing it to be the way you want. So you got to get into it fairly cheap if you want it to be what you want. There's also the super checks is kind of started coming around 1988ish, I think, 89. Um, they, those are pretty nice. They're not a huge advantage over the original checks, except for they track your shots, which is nice. I always thought that was a cool feature. I wish that had that on mine. And most of those are pretty similar until they get to, I don't know, it's around 2003 or something. They changed the boards again, and those have a lot better sound than the original checks or the super checks. I heard one of the newer super checks is not the pros, but its sound was way better in quality than the older ones. They all use the same parts, so like no matter which one you buy, you're going to be buying the exact same parts for Super Checks Pro that you'd use for the original checks, outside of the minor electronics they have. That'd be the only thing that could be different. So yeah, that's one of the positives. You can use all the same parts. You can upgrade it. They all play identical. There's no difference in any of that stuff. The negative is that if buying a used one is that the newer ones have the LCD screen, much better sound. So if those things are important to you, then, and if you're going to keep it for a long, long time, then maybe investing the extra money might be worth it. But it's kind of a personal preference, what you want to do. Then that's pretty much the end of the buying guide. I hope this rundown kind of helped you out a little bit, and let me know if you have any questions. I'll have some links down below that you can check out all three of them.